Well, welcome to our creative fire. So this is all about keeping the fire burning after our creative spark, and I am so happy you're here. So if you did the challenge for the past 10 days, we were asking for time to look at things like play and paint and write and explore nature and just create. And whether you participated every day or you just joined us when you could and you're just here tonight, it's all super special. So I am going to start by lighting a little creative fire right now with a candle to, let me just switch my camera. So tonight we're going to gather the sparks and we're going to build a creative fire that reminds us to keep our creativity alive. And we're going to start with a grounding. I always like to start all of my sessions with a grounding, so I'm going to invite you to just settle in and put your feet flat on the ground, relax, and take 3 slow breaths in. So we're going to do that together. So in and then release. In and release. And in and release. And just remember, tonight is not about making anything perfect. It's about honoring your creative journey. And we're going to do that together. So we're going to start with we're going to paint some papers. So hopefully you have some watercolor and some paper tonight. And I'm going to move my fire. And I'm going to show you what we're creating tonight. We are going to be creating a mixed media piece that is a creative fire. And we're going to be finding what fuels that fire. So just seeing that to give you an idea of what we're doing. And I am going to just set that down. And we're going to be creating 2 pieces of paper right now. We're going to be doing one that will serve as our background paper and one that is going to be cut into our flames, So I want you to think before you start painting, I want you to think about, what colors are speaking to you right now. This doesn't have to be realistic flame colors. You want it to be what is feeling like it's your color and what feels alive and what colors represent your creativity. What colors make you smile? So we're going to start, we want to do our background, so we don't have to put a lot on that one. You can just pick 1 or 2 colors. And the best way to do that with watercolor is to create a watercolor wash. And you're going to do that by just getting a thin coat of water because it'll help the paint move easier. And then pick your color, what you want your background for your creative fire to be. I'm not sure what I want tonight. So I know I had blue there. I think I'm gonna do some oranges and reds. So I'm just kind of going with a lot of, and you want a nice thin coat because we want it to dry. We don't want it super saturated. So just pick the colors that you want your background to be. And we're going to have about 10 minutes to do this. So I'm going to keep painting with you, and I'd like you to just do your background, and then you can follow along. You can see what I'm doing. I'm going to do, this paper is going to be where I'm going to create my flames. So go ahead. I'm going to put a little music on, and you start with your background and then your flames. If it feels like it's getting too wet, you can just blot it with a paper towel, and it gives a really kind of cool effect as well. And for your page where you're going to cut your flames out, you can put as many colors as you want. Just be careful not to put so many that it starts getting muddy looking. And with watercolor, if you want it to be darker, less water. And remember, there's no right way to do this. This is just what you're feeling, whatever colors you're feeling. And as we come back, hopefully you've gotten your two pieces done, one which is going to be the background and one we're going to be cutting into our flames. And for me, I did something a little different. I have my orange and red and yellow that is going to be my background, and I'm going to use my favorite blues and summer colors as my creative flames. That's what I was feeling today. So we're going to just set them aside to dry. And now I want to talk about the creative journey of the Creative Spark Challenge. So I know Dee Dee said that she was doing a lot of creative stuff, but she didn't get to all the sparks. And I'm going to ask both of you if there was something that really spoke to you in the challenge, whether it be writing, photography, collage, a journal page, something that stood out as meaningful. So if either of you, I'm going to let you ask you to unmute if you would like to share or share. Dee Dee, what have you been creating?
Well, I've had a couple projects. My mom's turning 80, and so I was inspired to do some creative stuff for her. I'm so sorry, the dog's going crazy.
That's okay.
And then I also I've been doing a lot more photography and um, so that's been good. So
That's awesome. And Did any of the prompts inspire some? I know you said you haven't done all of them. Inspire some
I love
creative
the
photography?
well, I love the one about music because I often find myself um emotionally like sort of on a journey. Like I can put on really mellow music and be very mellow, or I can put on dance music and be very, and so I've been sort of when you said that prompt, that one definitely talked to me because I was wondering like when I need to change my energy, how much can I change it through listening to music and changing my approach?
That's awesome. And moving. I
Yeah.
always say that it's hard to be really sad when you're dancing around to some fun music. And it really can shake things up. And, music has a lot to do with creativity because it's all creative. I mean, music is creative in itself, but what it feels like and what inspires us. So that's great to mix it up. So I'm just curious if you go back and do any of the sparks, I would love for you to continue to post because I know you're an amazing photographer and I would love to see some of those prompts with the light and all of the fun stuff. So yes,
And
please.
I've also definitely like even when I'm in a hurry because I'm running somewhere to do something for my boss, if she lives in a neighborhood that has beautiful flowers, and sometimes I'll just drive by them and I'll be like, those were so pretty. And then I'm like, this week I just pulled over and stopped and took the photographs, and I'm like, I make everything a priority except for what I want. So it was more about
Oh,
like stopping and giving it an extra second. I'm like, yeah, if it was an emergency, I'm driving to the hospital, I'm not stopping to take a picture, but it's not. And the more I remind to give myself space to do stuff, then I'm better when I do arrive at work or when I do have to do something because I have more space because I took time for myself. So,
absolutely. And it really does fuel your life. So
yeah,
when you give yourself space for that creativity and the attention it deserves, you show up better in everything you do.
yeah,
So taking those photos, I would love to see any of the flowers that you take. We would love to
sure.
see
Now,
them.
I have a lot of them. I'll share a couple.
Yay! Shirley, what really spoke to you?
Well, each exercise spoke to me. They were all a little bit different, and a lot of them were out of my comfort zone, but they kind of helped me um, just like focus on a few things instead of everything and not having any idea of what I was going to do. And I changed some things, and then I went back and read what you said that we needed to do, and I had to pay attention to what the purpose of the exercise was. So that was very helpful for me. I'm not used to giving space to myself and to focusing on something specific on what you were looking for. So I appreciate that. I think of all of them, they were all exciting. And I kind of surprised myself about what I did do. But when it came down to the one where you could do different things, and one of them was observation, that really hit home because I was looking at all the different things and I was like, well, what's the purpose of this? Why did you want to do this? And so that really helped me observe specifically why I was doing it, what it meant to me, and then to share it with everyone. That was kind of hard, but it kind of hit home and said, hey, there is a purpose, there is a reason. So you need to share this with everyone.
Well, we are so glad that you did. I was thinking, did you do the picnic collage?
The picnic one. Yes.
Yeah, I loved that.
Yeah. Oh, yes. I was like, what am I going to do? I love collages. That's probably where my focus is going to go, but with other different types of materials. But um, I was like, okay, I have no magazines. And I found the magazine from the grocery store and it had recipes in it and pictures of food. And I'm like, okay, what can you do with this? What can you share with everyone? But I've been on a flower theme lately. And so it was like, oh, let's try that, and then I showed my family and they're like, what is this?
Well, I loved it. And you saw the comments, everyone. It was so creative. And it's really cool to see, like you said, I didn't have anything but that. And then
Mhm.
look what came out of it. So it's
Mhm.
really cool. Really cool. The picnic. I just loved it. I love the theme of it. It's just so much fun. And you said kind of the same thing Dee Dee was saying of not allowing yourself space always. And it's so important. It is so important how we show up in this world if we give ourselves that space. It's really important. And that's what tonight is like, making it's kind of like a symbolism of what continues to fuel our fire and create. So we're going to do a little writing right now. So I'm going to ask you just to get a piece of paper, if you have a notebook and a pen or a pencil. And we are going to be gathering the fuel. So we're going to spend about 10 minutes. I'm going to put some prompts up. And when you're writing this, I don't want you to write sentences. I just want you to write words. So, whichever one. So you just want to put these prompts up. And let me just do that right now so you can see. Okay. Can you see the prompts?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Okay. So the prompts are: what fuels your creativity? What brings you joy? What do you want more of? What inspires you? What helps you reconnect with your creativity? And what do you want to keep burning in that creative fire? So if you want to write each sentence down and then just write words, like I said, write words. What fuels your creativity? It might be photography, paint, walking, nature. Think of just one word, because we're going to be putting these into the flames of our fire. We're going to pick, but right now I want you just like stream of consciousness. Do not judge what you're writing. Maybe write each sentence down and then just put as many words and then move on to the next sentence. So I'm going to put some music on again, and this will be about 10 minutes to just write what is gathering. Right now, this is gathering the fuel for your creativity. So you can start now. Just about a minute. Okay. Okay. I hope you have lots of words down. And now I'm going to ask you to circle the ones that feel the most important. The ones when you're looking right now, you feel like this really is the fuel for my creative fire. Circle the words that feel the most important to you.
Is there like a number of them? Like,
As many as you circle, because they are all going to go onto your flames. So if you have more than the flames you create, but as we're creating, you might have more that you add. But right now, just circle the ones that feel most important. And then we're going to move into building our fire. So I'm going to switch my camera. So I'm showing you my sample again, which is going to be, I'm going to be adding to this as well. So just so you can see that there's your background paper that you did. We're going to be building the fire now. And how we're going to build that fire is we are going to take one of the pieces that is for our flames, and we are going to cut flames. And when we cut flames, I want you to kind of think about the center flame, my creative fire, because all the other flames are going to be all of the fuel, what's fueling your fire. So, and when you cut them, I found that, you could do whatever, make them look like jaggedy. I'm going to get my largest one really quickly right now, and hopefully your paper is dry enough to do that. And I found that if I made like points at each end, it was easier when I'm placing them. So just, cut the different size flames. You can make tiny little spiky ones. You can make larger ones. You can make ones that have like jaggedy edges, like a real flame might have. As you can see, I'm just cutting shapes, very random. There's no right way. Just cutting my paper into my flames. So we're going to have, you know what, I'm just going to explain. We're going to be cutting these into flames. Then we are going to find on our background, I want you to build a little fire. And you can do that with just scraps of paper. If you have any little collage paper with you, if you've got something from the grocery store, make just, as you can see here, I just have some different paper that I put down to create my little fire, my logs. And then you're going to start arranging. I'm going to just you're going to start cutting. So arrange your fire logs any way that you want, and then you are going to start adding your flames. And this is up to you. You can write what fuels your fire. You want your center one to be my creative fire, but you can write what fuels your fire before you start gluing them down, or you can glue them down. On this one, I glued them down and then chose which ones were the bigger flames, where I wanted to write things that were important to me. So it's up to you. And then we're going to talk about adding details and sparks to this fire. So I'm going to give you about 25 minutes now to start laying down your logs, cutting your flames, and start to glue them down. And I'm going to leave this sample right here so you can see it. And does anybody have any questions? You're cutting the flames, you're building your little logs just by tearing paper cutting, and then you're going to start adding your flames. Are you good? Okay, perfect. So I'm going to put on some music and about 25 minutes of putting your logs and then cutting out your flames, and building your fire. As you're doing that, like overlap the flames, let them move in different directions, just like a real fire would be. Keep thinking what belongs in your fire. Keep working, and we're going to take a little more time to start adding. If you filled your flames with words, you might be still adding flames. You can maybe choose, because this piece is for you, if in the logs you want to write some things that help keep that fire burning. Maybe it's meditation, long walks, sleep, friends, good food, exercise, whatever that is, if you want to put words there for yourself. Also in the flames, maybe you can add some fun touches, maybe a little more color if you have markers or paint pens. You can do tiny little doodles and simple line work and just make each of those flames really stand out. Just really have fun and be creative with it. I've just kind of played with doodles and things and circles and hearts here. So add a little more creativity to your flames. And I'm looking, we have probably another 8 or so minutes for that, and then we're going to go. So as you're still adding your flames, put a little fun creative doodle marking into that, or add words to your logs if you choose. And when we're finished tonight, if you can then go back and put collage pieces, maybe little tiny sparks flying off of your flames, things that you want to spark yourself with. So it doesn't have to be finished tonight. So about 8 minutes, and then we're going to come back together. And as we come back together, beautiful. So I would love if anything surprised you that was fueling your fire. Which flames felt the most important? Was there anything that you discovered when you were doing that? And what do you really want to continue? What do you want to continue to keep that fire burning?
For me, it would be taking risks, going out of my comfort zone and just trying it, even if it's not what I'm looking for, or I think I'm going to fail, which I have to stop doing,
Mm.
that I can just try it, because you can do it again and again and again. You don't have to say, oh, well, it didn't work. Well, maybe if you try it a different way, it might work better. So,
And it's also, if you remember, it's for you. So if, take the judgment out and give yourself that permission slip, because it's for you. And ultimately taking care of yourself helps everyone. But yes, it's so hard when I think women especially, we're very hard on ourselves. And when you give yourself that opportunity to risk, what did you think were your most important flames tonight, Shirley?
um, probably things that I always go back to, and that's time, um, nature.
Yeah,
There's certain things I really love. I love music. I love trees and landscapes, and I haven't really explored that like I should. So that's probably going to be my focus.
I love
I,
that.
I have photos that I have kept, the landscapes that I've taken, like in black and white and other things. And I need to explore that. I can't just keep looking at them. I have to do something with them.
Oh, yeah. It's so we keep saying, if not now, when, right? Let's keep it going. Well, I wish that I could see your fire.
I'll post it.
Yes, post it. And remember, they don't have to be finished. You can keep adding to them. And it really is for you to remember. This is, it's a fun exercise, but it's also for you to connect to what really does fuel your fire. And Dee Dee, what about you?
I don't know if you'll be able to see it. So this is
I can see.
mine. And definitely nature was a big one for me. And being aligned, connection, joy, exhaling.
Yeah.
So I think it's like, it's not even the breath. I breathe a lot, but I forget to exhale.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, and I was like, oh my gosh, that's really what I want to do more of, is just, you know, it, as certain stuff's happened, the creativity allows me to like find peace with just being quiet and
Yes.
not being so busy. It's like, oh, I don't have to do everything. I can just do this.
It
So,
was one of the things when I was doing my list that I put down also, the stillness, because sometimes in the stillness so much magic happens in that quiet space.
yeah,
So
be
that's,
present.
yes,
Yeah.
being present. And I think when we're creating, we are present.
Yeah, you have to
When,
be.
because
Yeah.
everything else goes
Or,
out the window, we're not thinking about our to-do list when we're sitting here cutting out flames for a creative fire. We're here and being present, which I think is really important. So I am going to post the recording so the people that weren't here tonight, we didn't get to see. And I'm also just going to do a little closing ritual with you. So we want to continue to keep these sparks burning. So my hope that your page becomes a reminder today that the creativity isn't something we finish. We're always working to continue to nurture it. So whether your fire feels kind of low right now, come back to the page. And I'm going to ask you to repeat after me. May I continue to notice.
May I continue to
Continue
notice?
to notice.
May I continue to wonder.
May I
May I
continue to
continue to
wonder?
wonder.
May I continue to play.
May I continue to
Continue to
play?
play.
May I continue to create.
May I continue to
Continue
create?
to create.
And may I keep my creative fire burning one spark at a time.
And keep my creative spark one
One
spark
at
at
a
a time.
time, because that's what it is, right? One at a time. It doesn't have to feel like pressure. And when it starts to feel like pressure, we're disconnecting. So I just want to thank you for being here. It was just such an honor to create with you. Dee Dee, go back and do some of those sparks, post some of your photos, and I'm going to send a follow-up tomorrow. And Shirley, I really hope that I'll get to see your face and we get to connect more, but stay involved in the group because I'm always posting new things to do, new workshops, new opportunities, and I love that you're part of this creative community. So thank you so much for being here. If you have any questions or anything you want to know more about the membership, and I'm going to send a little bit in the email tomorrow, please feel free to reach out to me, and we can even have a chat if you like. And I love to keep inspiring and fueling your fire.
I
So
love that.
yeah, with
Will you
that,
post that
everybody
little
light
thing
up.
that we sent, or will you put it in the chat or something? I
I
like that.
will. Oh, say that again.
Either put it in the chat or on Facebook, but I liked what you said.
I'm
Like
gonna put it into
you.
the Facebook group so
Perfect.
we can keep that happening because we need to keep that fire burning. So
Yeah.
thank you for being here. I hope you have a wonderful holiday weekend, and I look forward to creating with you all again really soon. Thanks so much.
Good.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you.
Have a great holiday.
You too. Bye bye.
Bye.